And we are back here for you on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Pache. Thanks again for joining us this evening. Well, we want to talk about the newly released revisions for these job numbers. You can see here newly released data from the Labor Department shows that the U.S. economy likely created 911,000 fewer jobs in the 12 months through March than previously estimated. So that is a very, very big revision, and we want to talk all about it. So let's get some more insight right here on Live Now from Fox. Please welcome my next guest, David Siemer, CEO of Wave Digital Assets. Great to have you on, David. And first off, these revisions happen every year, but I mean, this is a huge one. What happened here?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is the quality of data has gone way down. So the previous year's revisions was almost as big, like 830,000 or something. We keep seeing these bigger and bigger revisions because the way they accumulate data during the year, not this set of data, but when they're doing the monthly reporting, they survey employers, they survey humans, households, things like that, and they do it in not so useful ways. They send letters. People don't open the mail very often anymore. So they're getting massively fewer responses in the last 5 or 6 years than they used to, and that's leading to just very bad data. So this is a huge revision. I mean, it means that the last 10 months of the Biden presidency saw more like 70,000 jobs being created per month instead of 150,000 jobs being created per month. It's very ominous for where we are in the current cycle. The most recent monthly reports, which again are very lumpy, very noisy as far as data goes, have also been very concerning and very low. So there's been a lot of calls for the Fed to act much quicker. Those calls are going to get a whole lot louder right now as far as bringing interest rates down, and it's probably way overdue.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that President Biden was campaigning on, talking about these numbers that were created, and now it wasn't there at all. So looking at it, isn't there a better way? You would think with all the technology that we have, don't we have a better way of tracking this almost in real time?
We should. I mean, one of the big problems is it's all voluntary surveys. So, I'm an employer, run a decent-sized company. I think they send these to us. We probably respond to it, but a lot of companies just stop responding. And so the data has gotten worse and worse. One obvious solution would be to incentivize people to give proper responses, and they haven't really done that. Again, there absolutely must be ways to make this data better. This data is really, really critical. This is how we measure the economy, the lifeblood of this country is employment, and having bad data, and we have clearly very bad data. I mean, the numbers went in half. When you're off by half, you're bad, so it's really hard to make decisions at any level, the Fed level, the presidency, this administration, if you don't have better data than this. And obviously the economy is $30 trillion. Like finding a way to throw money at this kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, such huge numbers. And I mean, this impacts a lot, and it gives you kind of a look here of how the economy's doing. So going forward, when we get these numbers out, I mean, how much can you really trust them when they're out there?
You can't. I mean, again, the numbers have, the revisions we've seen even the last 3 months of monthly data were, huge revisions, 250,000 person revisions and so forth. So the data is bad. I mean, they need to figure out a way to fix the data. The BLS, which manages this data, is also, I think, over a third of their positions are open, meaning they're now, they're incredibly understaffed. They're obviously going through a leadership change right now, which is probably due. So, I mean, so as far as solutions go, I mean, there's probably some pretty smart economists in the government that have probably better suggestions, but they have to figure out a way to fix this. You can't run, America's kind of like a corporation. You can't run a corporation without data.
Yeah, truly, because I mean they'll push these numbers out, and then it should be an asterisk, pending these revisions that are going to come out months later, and it doesn't always just add up. In fact, 900,000 down from what they said. I was thinking, I think a lot of people might be looking at this too. Why can't the government, if you get Social Security taken out of your check, can't they see just how much and how many people have that, and that would show how many jobs are going right there?
Well, Yes. So new welfare and new Social Security applicants is one measure, but it's actually a pretty small measure. I mean, if you quit your job, you're not eligible for welfare. So a lot of people quit their jobs. There's also a lot of definitional issues. So if someone works like 33 hours a week, are they employed? Are they unemployed? Are they part-time employed? A lot of people have multiple jobs now. So it's not as simple as just looking at one data source. You have to combine an enormous amount of data to get a little bit of a lens. There's a lot of people that have 3 part-time jobs that are fully employed. I mean, working more than 40 hours a week, but it's really hard to kind of garner exactly how that shows up as we've kind of transitioned to a different, more service type economy.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, so many people, these gig economy as well. And that's all different in the way it's classified as well. So going forward here now, I mean, how do the markets react to something like this? It didn't look like it really made any difference today when this information came out.
Yeah, the headline number was kind of startling, but it was completely expected. I mean, Goldman had given a range, I think it was like 650 to 950 expected downward revision. A whole bunch of other analysts had kind of pegged it a little lower, like 800. I think Besant came out 2 weeks ago and said he thinks it's over. The numbers are going to come down 800,000. So it was a little bit of an upward surprise on that, but it wasn't like a massive surprise. Like everyone knew the number was too high. They want their from the other data sources. This revision was definitely coming. As I said, the previous 12-month revision was like 820,000. So the data has been getting worse and worse, especially the short-term data. We're just getting smaller and smaller sample sets and trying to extrapolate, really, really big and important numbers. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah, so true. David, thanks so much for breaking it down and giving us some insight along the way. We appreciate it.